Apple led us to believe that the new C1 chip would unlock battery life like we've never seen before. However, thanks to some more recent information about the physical capacity in the iPhone 16e, I'm starting to wonder if it's not so much about the C1 chip. Let's begin. Yeah, I've been gone for a while, but I recently had a chance to stop by the Apple Store and check out the 16e, and yeah, nobody there cared. It's kind of sad. The lack of MagSafe means they had to redesign the phone prop-up stand so that it looks like it's magnetically attached, but in reality, it's just kind of sitting on a little notch. It's literally a step down below all the other iPhone 16s, and while it was awfully satisfying to see the Apple Intelligence animation wrap around the notch, I started reading a bit more about the 16e and realized that, while yes, technically on paper, this phone has the best battery life of any 6.1-inch iPhone, it might be because they actually just crammed a few more milliamp hours in this thing. That's right, it actually has several hundred more milliamp hours in it than any other 6.1-inch iPhone, really. And why do you think Apple would do that on the so-called cheaper iPhone? I won't say cheap, but on an iPhone that they're supposed to be skimping out on all the little details, right? Like no ultra-wide lens, no dynamic island, and no MagSafe ring, because this is supposed to be the more affordable one. They also decided, let's increase the physical size of the battery so that it's not just a battery boost simply because of the C1 chip being more efficient, but it's also a battery boost because there's just more battery to pull from in the first place. This surprised me greatly because I was convinced Apple would find a way to make their silicon more efficient and use that as a reason to shrink the overall battery capacity, and I still think that's likely going to be the story with the iPhone 17 Air. Battery life won't be amazing, but it will be impressive relative to the size of the battery pack. But this unexpected change to the capacity makes me believe that Apple wanted the narrative surrounding the C1 chip to be very positive. Apple has finally switched away from Qualcomm, and that unlocks better battery life, right? I bought into it for a while too. I drank the Kool-Aid, but now watching some of the first battery tests with the 16e, and yeah, we quickly realize, like most of the time, it's not necessarily that much better than other 6.1-inch iPhones. There's no denying it is an improvement, and I don't think Apple is wrong to make the claim it's the best battery life of a 6.1-inch iPhone, because at least in our first initial battery test videos, we are seeing it pull out ahead of the iPhone 16, but only by a matter of a few dozen minutes. Maybe you're able to squeeze an hour to 90 minutes compared to an iPhone 15 or 14, which is noticeable, and it is appreciated, but I certainly don't think it's as big as a battery boost as Apple makes it out to be on their website. And I also find it very, very interesting that on the cheaper iPhone, which was supposed to leave out on a lot of the bells and whistles, they decided to beef up the capacity. And it's no wonder Apple doesn't like talking about milliamp hours, because if they did, this would probably give away a lot of the reason as to why the battery has improved. This makes me somewhat skeptical of the future of the C1, line of chips, because we know that Apple acquired Intel's old and dying off modem business, and it took them many, many years to actually design a chip that they were comfortable shipping. Basically 5 years between they've acquired the modem business and we're actually shipping a chip. And it makes me wonder if Apple started realizing that, even after all that time and refinement, they weren't able to make it that much more efficient than the outgoing Qualcomm modems. I'm not saying that they're not more efficient at all, I'm just saying that the gains in the efficiency improvements are likely not as big as a boost as Apple is claiming, and I suppose at the end of the day, it just makes me a little bit more nervous and concerned for the iPhone 17 Air. At first I thought, oh, this is going to be a terrible phone. There's going to be no stereo speakers, only one camera, and it's expensive. The battery life is going to suck. But then I got a glimmer of hope through the C1 chip. Wow, Apple found a way to increase the battery life a lot in the 16e. This is all thanks to this new updated silicon and ditching Qualcomm. But now seeing the breakdowns that they actually boosted the physical size of the capacity of the battery, that's made me go back to worrying again on, okay, even if the iPhone 17 Air does have the same C1 chip, it's still probably going to be dictated by the physical capacity, and who knows, maybe through some miraculous engineering, they are able to fit a somewhat large battery inside this razor-thin iPhone, but most likely it will come at the cost of MagSafe. I'm convinced it's the next 3D Touch. I really hope I'm wrong. I want MagSafe to stay on the phones themselves, but seeing what Apple's pulling with the 16e just really makes me think that the future is going to involve Apple saying, oh, you want to keep using all those awesome MagSafe accessories? Yeah, it's easy. You just gotta buy a case. You gotta buy a new case. You gotta buy one from us. It's gotta have those metal rings on the inside. Please buy a new case for your phone, because otherwise none of that MagSafe stuff is gonna keep working. And I literally ran into someone I was working with over the past week that was using their phone caseless, but liked the MagSafe wallet. And he was like, yeah, I'm thinking about getting that new 16E. And I told him, you're gonna have to buy a case for it because your wallet's not gonna slap on the back. And that literally convinced him not to get it. I know it's anecdotal evidence, but in order to squeeze as much battery in these really thin designs as possible, my guess is Apple wants to drop those little magnets on the inside. What do you guys think is gonna happen? Feel free to let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. And thank you to everybody supporting this channel directly. Seriously, helps us out a ton, as does just watching these videos. So thanks again. This is your Apple Shape here, and I will see you on the next one.